Now, after studying about the sensory organ eye, its structure and mechanism, now we'll start with another sensory organ, that is ear. Let us understand first of all what is the structure of the ear. Ear basically consists of three parts: external ear, middle ear, and internal ear or inner ear. This figure describes the structure of ear. As it can be seen from the figure, this orangish portion is the outer ear. This middle portion highlighted with pink is the middle ear, and the lateral portion, that is inner ear, that is highlighted in blue. Let us study the structure of each of them in brief. Now let us begin with the first part, that is external ear. This image shows the structure of outer ear or external ear. Now, as it can be seen from the figure, the external ear basically consists of two most important parts, that is pinna and external auditory meatus. Out of this pinna, as it can be seen, it is an oval-shaped structure out of which the upper tough portion, which is rigid in nature or rather stiff in nature, is known as helix, while the lower portion, that is flexible in nature, is called lobule. Thus, pinna basically consists of two structures or is made up of two structures, that is the upper stiff portion, helix, and the lower portion, lobule. Then the second part of outer ear is external auditory meatus. This region is also known as canal. As it can be seen from the figure, this is an S-shaped structure which then continues to the tympanic membrane, or rather moves towards the tympanic membrane. This canal secretes wax glands, or rather waxy substances from wax gland. It also possesses hair-like cells which prevents the entry of dust particles. This entry of dust particles is mainly restricted by these hair-like cells due to the presence of this waxy substance that is secreted from the wax gland. This waxy substance is known as earwax, which is a brownish colored fatty substance. This earwax, apart from restricting the entry of dust particles, also lubricates the ear wall. Now, as said earlier, this auditory meatus then further continues into the tympanic membrane, which is also a part of outer ear. As it can be seen from the figure, a tympanic membrane is thin and oval-shaped structure which is made up of connective tissue. And possess a two-layered membrane out of which the outer portion is covered with skin and the inner or the lower portion is covered with the muscle membrane. This inner wall of tympanic membrane that is made up of muscle membrane basically consists of two parts, or rather consists of two aperture. The upper aperture is known as fenestra ovalis. While the inner aperture or the lower aperture is called fenestra rotunda. Thus, the inner wall of the tympanic membrane consists of fenestra ovalis and fenestra rotunda, which then moves into the middle ear. Now, the second structure or the second part of ear after external is the middle ear. This figure depicts the structure of a middle ear. Middle ear basically consists of easily movable articulatory bones. These bones are known as ear ossicles. Now, in middle ear, the ear ossicles are basically of three types. First, Malleus, second incus, and third stapes. These three moves gradually in the increasing order. So let us understand about the first structure, malleus. Thus, malleus is an ear ossicle or part of ear ossicle which is directly attached to the tympanic membrane and is a hammer-shaped structure. Thus, an ear ossicle that is hammer-shaped and directly attached to the tympanic membrane is considered as the outermost part of the middle ear and is known as malleus. The second structure following malleus is the middle one, that is incus. Thus, incus is considered as the second or the middle portion of the middle ear. Which externally connects malleus and internally stapes, that is the third part of the middle ear. Thus, the function of incus is to transfer the sound from the malleus portion to the stapes portion. Stapes is the third and the innermost part of the middle ear. Thus, ossicle, which is the innermost portion, of middle ear, and is stirrup shaped, and so it is known as stapes. Thus, stapes is a structure which connects the middle ear and the innermost ear. The function of these ear ossicles is to transmit the vibrations from the external ear, or rather from the tympanic membrane of the external ear, towards the inner ear. This middle ear amplifies the sound vibrations to almost 20 times than the original sound. That is heard. Thus, amplification of sound in ears mainly takes place with the help of middle ear. Therefore, the sound that is passed gradually from external to middle ear moves on to internal ear.